It's getting ugly at the trial of mobster James Whitey Bulger. His right-hand man took the stand yesterday to testify against his former friend and mentor. He told the jury gruesome details of murders and other crimes. Don Daler is at the federal courthouse in Boston this morning. Good morning, Don.
Good morning, Anthony. Kevin Weeks spent much of the day describing in matter-of-fact tones the brutal murders that he said he watched Whitey Bulger make. But it wasn't until he used one of the most insulting words in the gangster's lexicon to describe his former boss that things got heated. Kevin Weeks was nearly finished testifying when he called Whitey Bulger a rat for informing on his own gang members. Bulger shouted, "F you," and Weeks shouted the same thing back at him and said, "What are you going to do?" The judge scolded them. For 20 years, the two men were close friends and Weeks says partners in crime. It all ended when it was revealed Bulger had been an FBI informant. In 2006, Weeks told 60 Minutes' Ed Bradley that's when he turned against his mentor.
We were supposed to live by a certain code, and this was his teaching too. You know, you never rat on your friends, never rat on your family, you never give everyone up. You have a problem, you take it to the street.
On the stand, Weeks described several murders he said he saw Bulger commit and told the jury how they buried the bodies in a basement and spread lime on them to help in the decomposition. The defense portrayed Weeks as a liar, to which he responded, "I've been lying my whole life. I'm a criminal," but that he was telling the truth now. Bulger insists he never killed any women, but Weeks says he did, including murdering the stepdaughter of a fellow gang member. "She wasn't a criminal. She wasn't involved with us in any crimes. I heard a thud and I looked and saw Jim Bulger on the ground choking her." Weeks told Ed Bradley Bulger enjoyed killing.
I mean, he stabbed people, he beat people with bats, he shot people, he strangled people, run them over with cars.
You said also that he liked killing.
Yeah.
Explain that to me.
After he would kill somebody, it was like a stress relief. You know, he'd be nice and calm for a couple of weeks afterwards.
Now, many of the court observers found it interesting that Bulger's own attorney admitted in court that his client committed a number of crimes, from extortion to violence to drug dealing to bribery. In fact, he said one of Whitey Bulger's favorite sayings was, "Christmas is for kids and cops." Anthony, Nora.
Don Daler, thank you. And CBS News legal analyst Ricky Kleeman is in London this week, but even on the other side of the pond, she's been following every moment of this trial. Ricky, good morning.
Good morning, Nora.
Wow, it certainly was dramatic in court yesterday, that confrontation between the two of them, the dropping of F-bombs. But what about the substance of that testimony?
Well, I think the substance of the testimony is gruesome. It's horrific. The details of the killing, the murdering of 3 people in a house, in a basement. One of them in particular, John McIntyre, was tortured, as his brother Chris has told me, going through the rings of Dante's Inferno. He was tortured, he was strangled. He was strangled to a point that he didn't die. And then Whitey Bulger allegedly says, "Would you like one in the head?" Shoots him in the head, then shoots him numerous times about the face. His teeth are pulled out. This is the type of detail, Nora and Anthony, where the jurors have been reported to have been sitting on the edge of their seats, to have been taking notes. It's the stuff that books and movies are made of. It's far more horrific than Martin Scorsese's The Departed could have ever been.
Ricky, I mean, what about that confrontation? I mean, when you see in a court a defendant and a key witness confront each other, yelling at each other, how does that play in the court, do you think?
Well, I certainly think it shows them to be exactly what they both really are. These are guys from Southie who know how to fight, who have extraordinary resentment against one another. The idea that Kevin Weeks says, "I'm not a rat," because you can't rat on a rat. That's his code of honor. Whitey Bulger looks at Kevin Weeks as the rat, while Kevin looks the same way at Whitey. I'm sure the marshals were at great standing attention between the two. How does it play for the jury? Well, the jury may just say, "I'm not sure if I believe Kevin Weeks about everything, but I sure believe how they feel about each other right now."
Ricky Kleeman. Thanks, Ricky.